There is a really interesting development in the ammonia space out of India. India has a couple things going on. First, regions have great conditions for solar power, very consistent sunlight. Second, the agriculture sector is very reliant on imported fertilizer. Third, a heavy reliance on imports exposes the economy to external shocks. India does not have a lot of natural gas, so previously they had no way to onshore fertilizer production at scale. India is taking steps to strengthen its position. One of those steps is to invest in green ammonia production. Green ammonia production has been technically feasible for quite a while. Barriers to growth were entirely market-driven. Producers need long-term contracts before they can afford to invest heavily in capital projects. India just ran an auction for 10-year green ammonia contracts and awarded deals to 6 different developers. The size of this auction is a game changer. This auction secured green ammonia at wild prices. These contracts are nearly half the cost of the most recent European auction prices. The cost drivers are a little complex. Let's highlight a couple of factors. First off, the largest cost input to green ammonia is the cost of green power. But the average cost of green power and the average cost of the green power used by producers is not necessarily the same thing. Consider this: India recently curtailed 2.3 terawatt hours of solar energy. At the time and place it was produced, there was no demand and the power was dumped. That is power an ammonia producer could have purchased for far less than the average price. Next, financing costs are another factor. If you have a 10-year offtake contract, you can borrow money for 10 years, spread your construction costs over the 10 years. There are other financial considerations. For example, the costs are in India, and so are the buyers. So there is no need to hedge your ammonia revenue against currency swings. India is also offering incentives for green hydrogen production. These financial incentives are baked into the headline cost per ton. Finally, the accounting for the green energy uses a different methodology than the European contracts. They use a different methodology to track if production uses power from the grid that traces back to coal plants, and that could impact their costs. India has several related goals: encourage capital investment in the sector and onshore fertilizer production. These deals succeed against these goals. Green ammonia is produced using renewable electricity, water, and nitrogen from the air. Unlike conventional ammonia production, green ammonia does not require methane. India has enormous capacity to add solar power. Using solar to produce green ammonia is simply a matter of investment. Whereas if you do not have domestic sources of methane, you are reliant on imports. Ammonia is the key input to nitrogen fertilizer. It is also emerging as a fuel, an inexpensive medium to ship and store energy. Solar energy from a hot, dry season can be stored in tanks and used during the winter or rainy season. Ammonia is not discussed much as a fuel, but it is already used in significant volumes in large ships and power plants. India's National Green Hydrogen Mission was introduced to accelerate the country's clean energy transition and support large-scale hydrogen and ammonia production. The initiative encourages renewable energy investments, infrastructure development, and industrial partnerships. The program also supports long-term projects designed to reduce dependence on imported fossil fuels while strengthening India's role in the future global clean fuel economy. These efforts are helping build the foundation for future energy security and sustainability. In this video, we won't go through all 6 production deals. Rather, we will look at one ACME Group signed a long-term agreement for 370,000 tons of green ammonia capacity under India's Clean Energy Transition Program. The deal is worth approximately $2.4 billion USD. The ammonia will supply 13 major fertilizer plants across India. ACME now has ammonia projects in Duqom, Oman, where construction is well underway. In July, a loan from REC Limited was secured to fully finance Phase 1 of the Oman project, and Ain Sokhna, Egypt, targeting the production of more than 2 million tons per year of ammonia fuel next to the Suez Canal. Also near key Indian ports, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. We are seeing wide international demand for green ammonia. This is driven by demand for ammonia as a fertilizer input and as an alternative fuel. Green ammonia is an efficient tool to capture, store, and ship green energy. For example, India's AM Green signed a long-term supply agreement with Germany's Uniper to support Europe's clean energy transition. These new 10-year agreements demonstrate confidence in India's renewable energy capacity and export potential.